It is the largest phylum of animal kingdom. So why do we call it as largest phylum of animal kingdom? Because if you walk from here to our parking gate, let us assume, if you look at 10 organisms, okay, 10 animals you start count, and out of 10 animals at least 6 to 7 will be from arthropoda. It can be a millipedes, honeybees, butterfly, moths, ant, cockroaches. See, 6, 7 animals you will see, right? You will witness termites, right? So all these organisms belongs to phylum Arthropoda. So your NCERT textbook is saying that, okay, it is saying that 2/3 of, see the second line children, 2/3 of animals belongs to Arthropoda. Among arthropoda, it is insect. Among arthropoda, which class has more number of species? It is insect, class insecta. So insect, mosquitoes, fruit flies, all belong to class insecta. So why the name is arthropoda? Why the name is arthropoda? So arthropoda, when we split the terms, arthro means jointed, poda means legs. If you see, you all have witnessed the legs of cockroach, right? Have you witnessed the legs of cockroach? Cockroach is an example for arthropoda class insecta. If you look at here, what you can see children? See, this part to this part is one part appendage, and from here to here another appendage. From here to here one more, and here till here, from here to here we have segments. Here even the jointed leg, what we mean here, legs are also segmented legs here. They are a part of something whole. Okay, so this is how the legs of cockroach is there. If you look at the cockroach egg, then all other animals also, you can imagine prawn, crabs, right, oysters, all have the same type of legs, jointed appendages. If I look at their antennae, okay, antennae, even it is also jointed. So jointed legs or jointed appendages, okay, jointed legs or jointed appendages, that's what we say here. So this is with their speciality, this is about their name, okay, why the phylum is named as Arthropoda. Next, coming with the general characteristic features. What are the general features children? Very firstly, can you tell me the general features? Are they triploblastic or diploblastic? Triploblastic. True coelomates or false coelomates? Eucoelomates. That means they possess true body cavity. Then bilaterally symmetrical. What about the symmetry children? Bilaterally symmetrical. What about grade of organization? Organ system grade of organization. Organ system of. So these are the general features of arthropoda. What they have is triploblastic, true coelomates, that means they possess true body cavity, bilaterally symmetrical, organ system grade of organization. Is that clear? Fine. So next, if we go, this is what make them phylum Arthropoda. Important features or characteristic features of phylum Arthropoda. Very first, body is divisible into head, thorax and abdomen. Head, thorax and abdomen. What it is made up of children? Chitin. What we can call other word? Chitinous exoskeleton. What it is? Chitinous exoskeleton. Chitin is also seen in the cell wall of, tell me, In which cell wall it is found? Fungi. Very good. Fungi cell wall also contains chitin. Here the same chitin is present in their exoskeleton. Okay, that is one thing. Then next, so now tell me children, if cockroach you have seen, however drastic condition is there, environmental, so much heat is there, cockroaches somehow survive, right? How? Because of this hard chitinous skeleton. You look any habitat children of arthropoda, okay, any habitat, they survive. Than any other animals, the survival rate among them is high. Why? It is because of the same exoskeleton. Chitinous exoskeleton is providing them and protection against any changes in the environment. That's why they are distributed across the globe, as well as their survival rate is more. When survival rate is more, what is the rate of reproduction children? High. Right, that's why they are dispersed or distributed across the world or globe. Is that clear? So chitinous exoskeleton is very important feature. Fine. So next, coming with the head, thorax and abdomen. Each part is protected by exoskeleton chitin plates we call. If we take an example of cockroach, they have plates, exoskeleton plates made up of chitin. So external feature is a clear children. Body is divisible into head, thorax and abdomen, and body covered by exoskeleton made up of chitin. We'll go to the next feature. So internal feature, one by one we will go. What is the internal feature children? Digestive system. So digestive system. Digestive system. Digestive system is complete and well developed. Okay, it is complete and well developed. Cockroach, in example in future we will study about cockroaches, where we can see pharynx, esophagus, crop or stomach we can call it, gizzard, then intestine, rectum and anus. Okay, then coming with the circulatory system. Circulatory system, what is it is? It is of open type. And blood is usually colorless. What is blood children? Blood is colorless due to lack of pigment. Okay, lack of pigment. But in case of some crabs, they have hemocyanin. In crabs we can see. Okay, so it is bluish in color. What is the color of the blood children? Bluish. Okay, hemocyanin is present in crabs, and what is the color of the blood? Bluish. But usually in most of them, what is the color of the blood children? Colorless. Okay, it is white or colorless. Next, when it is open type, what do we call? Heart pumps the blood. Heart pumps the blood directly into cavity where tissues and cells are bathed or bathed. Okay, are bathed or bathed. Is it clear? Digestive system and circulatory system. Next, coming with the respiratory system. So in our textbook, the respiratory system, they have given one example. It is either by gills or book lungs. Mark it children in NCERT textbook. Gills, book lungs or tracheal system. Gills in case of aquatic insects as well as aquatic arthropods. Okay, example for aquatic arthropod, crab. Okay, crab. What about aquatic insect children? Give me an example. Larva of mosquito. when it is larva. Have you seen why do we do not allow water to be stagnant around us, children? Because mosquito breeds in the clean water, right? Mosquito breeds in the clean water. Eggs are laid, fertilized eggs are laid in the water, and in the water the eggs hatch into the larva. And larva lives in the water for certain time, then it develops into adult. That's why mosquito is an amphibious insect. Write down, amphibious insect. Which is the amphibious insect, children? Mosquito. Okay, example, mosquito. Next, coming with the book lungs. Example, terrestrial arthropods like scorpion. All of you have seen scorpion, right, children? Right? The poisonous sting is there in its tail or the last segment of the abdomen. We call it scorpion. Scorpion has book lungs. Coming with the tracheal system, children. Tracheal system is highly branched tubules. Okay, highly branched tubules which opens to the exterior by. Okay, opens to the exterior by a opening called spiracles. By the openings called spiracles, and these tubes are called tracheal tubes. These tubes are called tracheal tubes. This is the spiracle opening. Okay, this is the tracheal tube. Okay, tracheal tube. This is the tissues which are present over here. Okay, the tissues. So directly the oxygen is carried through that tracheal tubes directly into the tissues and organs present inside the animal. Here there is no pigment like hemoglobin in us, right? They don't have any pigment. They won't carry. The blood is only for circulation of nutrients and hormones. Here the blood do not carry any respiratory gases. Direct, how amoeba respires, in the same way internal cells will respire with the exchange of gas from the spiracle. Through the spiracle the air enters here and it reaches and exchanges with the organs present in the cavity. We call it as hemocoel. Okay, so this is just an example of cockroach which I have mentioned here. I will just keep this diagram for your reference. Can look at it later. Okay, so in cockroach structural organization we will study it in detail with cockroach. For now you just understand tracheal system is present in which one? Cockroaches, terrestrial animals like cockroaches. Okay, example for tracheal system of respiration is cockroach. Excretory system. So one by one, if we finish the systems, we'll be aware of, we can cover each and every point. Excretory system. So removal of nitrogenous wastes from the body. Here the excretory system is either Malpighian tubules, glands, coaxial glands or antennal glands. Okay, so it is either Malpighian tubules, either green glands, coaxial glands or antennal glands. All of them, what do they help in, children? What do they help in? Removal of nitrogenous wastes. Removal of nitrogenous wastes. That is the function of these structures present. Okay, so in cockroach Malpighian tubules is present. In case of scorpion, coaxial glands are present. So it depends on the animal and its habitat. They have evolved in such, whichever is easy for them to remove the wastes, that kind of glands are present. Okay, is that clear, children? Excretory system, removal of nitrogenous wastes. What are the types? Malpighian tubules, green glands, coaxial glands and antennal glands. Reproduction. Okay, so apart from that, let's go with the nervous system first. Nervous system. So nervous system is well developed and it is with brain and double ventral nerve cord. Okay, what is brain, what is nervous system represented by, children? It is brain and double ventral nerve cord. So we all have brain and spinal cord, right? But in these arthropods, what they have is brain and double ventral nerve cord. Okay. So next with the sensory organs. Next with the sensory organs, they have eyes, both simple and compound. Simple and compound. Okay, well, for what they are receptive children? Sensitive for light. Photoreceptors. What they are children? Photoreceptors. So what do? Will they have clear vision like us? No, they are only for light and darkness. Okay, so they are responding for light and dark. Next, coming with the statocyst. Statocysts are called organs of balance or balancing organs. Okay, organ of balance. Is that clear, children? Organ of balance. You might have seen animals crawling or flying. So while that we have ears for balancing organ. What they have is statocyst. Other sensory structures. For example, a pair of antennae is always present. Antennae is a thigmoreceptors. Thigmoreceptors plus chemoreceptors. Chemoreceptors. What is thigmoreceptors, children? What is thigmoreceptors? Sensitive for touch or vibrations that occurs in the surrounding. You might have seen cockroach running as soon as you step into kitchen. They don't have any ears, right, children? But how do they sense? By the thigmoreceptors. The antenna will always catch the signal in our day-to-day electronic gadgets. But here antenna is receiving the signals, waves for sound, waves of vibration. Is that clear, children? Then chemoreceptor for taste, children. For the taste, whether the food is edible or it is distasteful, not distasteful, whether it is poisonous or is it not good for, it is good or not good for the health of itself. So in that way it is helpful. So eyes, antennae, okay, they are two important sensory structures. In addition, our NCERT is also mentioning statocyst, organs of balance. It is not sensory organ, but I have just added it here. Is that clear, children? Fine. Next, coming with the reproduction. So the last part of this phylum is reproduction in arthropods. So here sexes are separate. Sexes are separate, meaning they are dioecious, right? Dioecious. So males are separate, females are separate. Okay, so dioecious. So males copulate and deposits the sperms in female reproductive tract. Now tell me, children, what is the type of fertilization? What is the type of fertilization? Internal fertilization. Fertilization is happening inside the female tract, female genital tract or female reproductive tract. Internal fertilization. Next, development is always direct or indirect? Indirect. Okay. Indirect. That means eggs will hatch into larva. Okay. Eggs hatch into larva. Larva develops into adult. Okay. So intermediated by larval stage, and hence we call the development is indirect. Okay, is that clear, children? Any doubt with this? So in addition to this, we also have another type of reproduction in few members of arthropoda, that is parthenogenesis. What is parthenogenesis? let us say there is a female children. Female. She lays eggs. Or here it is better to or convenient or appropriate word to use here is release. Releases eggs. Okay, releases eggs. These eggs without these eggs without fertilization directly develops into male larva, then male larva will develop into male adult. Okay, so this is surprising, right children? So without sperm, eggs are directly developing into larva develops into adult. Okay, so that we see in, which is the example children? Example, drones in honeybees. Drones in honeybees. So what are drones children? Male members of colony. They are the males. Okay, their only function is to donate or copulate the female. Donate the sperms or copulate the female. Okay, so drones drones doesn't have fathers. They only have his grandfather. Okay, so there is this term which comes in future. Okay, for now you just know parthenogenesis means female will release the egg. These eggs without any fertilization, without entry of sperm, it is developing into larva. Larva develops into adult. So that we see in male of the honeybees. For males we have a specific word here, what we call children? Drones. A single female, for all your information, a single female honeybee mates with 10 to 15 males or 10 to 15 drones during her nuptial flight. Okay, nuptial flight. So after that no other copulation will happen. So once for all 10 to 15 males will copulate the female. For almost 5 years she will keep on laying the eggs. Of that eggs, some are fertilized eggs, some are unfertilized eggs. So here what is this egg children? Unfertilized egg. What is this egg children? Unfertilized egg directly develops into larva. That larva will be male. Larva will develop into adult and it will become a male insect or male honeybee. We call it as drone. Oviparous. If it is indirect, it is oviparous. It is oviparous. Is that clear children till here? Now another last part is examples we need to study. So examples of arthropods. Examples of arthropods. Okay. So economically they are very important. For example, silkworm produces silk. So silkworm, when it completely develops, it becomes silk moth. Silk moth is an adult moth. So you know the difference between butterfly and moth children? What is the difference between butterfly and moth? Butterflies, when they rest, their wings will be in right angle, 90 degree. Okay, both the wings will be resting like this. Whereas moths will be spread like this. Okay, so there is no much difference between moth and butterfly. But when you look at closely, butterflies are more colorful. Okay, whereas moths are most of them are pest. Most of them are pest and usually grayish in color, dark black in color, darkish in colors. Okay, so keep in mind. So major difference when you look at your surrounding, moths rest their wings spread, whereas in butterflies it is at the 90 degree to the animal's body. Is that clear children? Okay, now we will see some examples of economically important insect. Very first, apis. What is apis children? Honeybee. Okay, there are so many species of honeybees. For example, Apis cerana, Apis dorsata. The one which you see in the buildings of our college at the higher height altitude, they are bigger. In Kannada they call hejjenu. Okay, dorsata. It is Apis dorsata. The one which we cultivate in our farms, apiculture, right? We do apiculture to collect the honey. We use Apis cerana. Apis cerana indica is also there. So only two members I have written here for your reference. And another example, Lacifer insects. Lacifer insect. What do they produce, children? Lac insect. They are commonly called lac insect. They produce a deep blue color. Deep blue dye, which is usually used in election. You might have seen the markings over here. Okay, that is one function of this. There are other functions of this lac dye also. Okay, other functions are also there. In cosmetology, in case of artistic work, they are usually used. Then the third one is silk moth. The common name is silk moth. Scientific name is Bombyx mori. Bombyx mori. So Bombyx mori, silk moth. So silk moth lay the eggs, right, children? The female silk moth will lay the egg on mulberry plant. You should be aware of it. No other plant they will lay the egg. They are host specific. Only on mulberry plant they will lay the eggs. What do they call for mulberry plant? Hypnerele. Okay, so that leaves are only edible by these worms. The eggs will hatch out into worms. Worms will start feeding on tender leaves. Then they will shift for mature leaves. They feed gregarious pest they are called. Okay, usually the worms or whatever the larvae are there in case of arthropoda, they are usually gregarious pest. Okay, gregarious means they will feed voraciously. Continuously they can eat of any plant. Okay, so here Bombyx mori feeds on mulberry plant. Okay, mulberry plant, and the larva will start at the end of their larval stage. They start producing the silk thread. Okay, silk thread, and that is what becomes the cocoon. Okay, cocoon thread we take out and make the silk. The next examples coming under arthropoda is vectors. What are vectors in this context, children? It is carriers of the pathogens. So they help pathogens to spread among the population of their host. Here female Anopheles mosquito, we all know it spreads Plasmodium vivax, which results in which fever, children? Malaria. So Culex and Aedes aegypti, they also carry pathogens which belong to viruses. Arthropoda borne viruses, arboviruses. Okay, arboviruses means arthropoda borne viruses. That means they are carried only with the help of these insects. Okay, arthropodal insects. What are locusts, children? Grasshopper like animal. Okay, grasshopper like animal. It is gregarious pest. From Pakistan, a swarm of gregarious pest entered India and destroyed the entire harvest of the wheat. In a few years back you might have witnessed. Okay, it is this locust. Diagram is also given in the textbook. Okay, locust. Fine. Next, which is the example, children? It is a living fossil. I'll put the picture. Living fossil. Okay. You can see the swarm of locust, children, here. The swarm of locust. You just imagine how you will control the insect population.